Hello, Aspras. I'm Indumati Karthikeyan from InKar IAS Academy. Today we are going to see about the 25th November current affairs. The topic taken from the Delhi edition, India. This topic comes under the GS3, Indigenization of technology and developing new technologies. Why it is in the news? Actually, in India, the throughout the world, Wi-Fi has mainly used to two key brands of the frequency 2.5 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz by 2021. Several regulatory authority around the world began delicensing a third brand spectrum for Wi-Fi. However, India and China have not yet allowed the use of the 6 gigahertz spectrum. That is, in earlier in November, the PlayStation 5 Pro console was released in key markets around the world, but no announcement was made regarding India. On November 8th, Sony said PS5 Pro will not be available in some countries, which presently includes India, where 6 GHz wireless band used in IEEE 802.11 i5 7 was not yet been allowed. So, what is the main history behind that? That is a key bands of frequency in India. Throughout the world, Wi-Fi has mainly used two bands only, that is 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Home broadband users may recognize these frequencies as separate transmission from the same router, and also there is a characteristics frequency bands, that is 2.4 gigahertz limited data bandwidth, and also but can have the blanket a larger area with coverage, and also 5 gigahertz significantly faster, but it only covers a shorter distance. Introducing the delicensing 2002, the frequency of the for the spectrum used by these Wi-Fi bands with the delicensed, and also the indoor and outdoor use separately in India starting in 2002. That is Wi-Fi technology until 2020. The state of Wi-Fi technology remained the same. Into introduce Wi-Fi 6 in 2020. Introduce Wi-Fi 6 2020. Wi-Fi 6 uses both 2.4 and also 5 gigahertz frequencies simultaneously with greater efficiency, resulting in the better speeds. But Wi-Fi 6E and Global Region 2021 was introduced, splitting the world into two regions: those who allowed use of 6 gigahertz spectrum and those who not allowed for the 6 gigahertz spectrum. And what is 6 gigahertz spectrum and what does it have to do with Wi-Fi? By 2021, several regulatory authorities around the world, including Japan, Mexico, South Korea, Taiwan, United Arab Emirates, the UK, and also the US, began delicensing a third band of spectrum for the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi 6E standard was introduced that year, allowing the creation of routers that broadcast on the same frequency, bringing up theoretical maximum speeds of 9.6 gigabits per second. This relied on the band of spectrum between 5.925 MHz and also 7.125 MHz, known as the 6 GHz spectrum. But in several countries, that is not yet the case. India and China have not allowed the use of 6 GHz spectrum for Wi-Fi yet, while the International Telecommunication Union generally tries to keep wireless frequency for telecom, Wi-Fi, satellite, and also often uses that cases uniform around the world. Several countries have not yet agreed on a standard division of the 6 gigahertz band. Who has the 6 gigahertz bands in India and who wants it? The current location, the 6 gigahertz bands, is currently with the Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, with dealing with the satellite and other cases. The satellite communication over 6 gigahertz are unlikely to interfere meaningfully with the Wi-Fi like use cases. And also the World Radio Communication Conference, at the World Radio Communication Conference last year, India and some other countries secured an extension until 2027 to decide the use of the sum of all the spectrums. And what is the competing interest for the 6 gigahertz spectrum? That is a telecom operators demand, that is operation in India, the worldwide has intense interest in using 6 gigahertz spectrum for 5G and also the 6G. And tech companies arguments that tech including Google, Meta, Amazon, represented by the Broadband India Forum, advocates that use like allocations of the spectrum to Wi-Fi. And also there is a conflict of usage, that both telecom and the tech companies push for the entire 6 gigahertz band to be allocated for the respective use cases in the telecom or Wi-Fi. And Australia's model is the government may allow Australia's example delicensing of the spectrum for specific use and also deliberating the allocation of the remaining half. And what is the next thing? That is the 6 gigahertz debate is complex in its own right. It is not entirely clear that the consumer electronics interests are significantly impacted by India's decision. Apple and Samsung phones sell in India both the exact same support of the 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi, for instance, but the Wi-Fi feature is programmed to avoid connecting the 6 gigahertz spectrum. That Sony could do the same by making consoles sold in India incompatible with the band of the spectrum until regulatory clarity emerges. If the Sony decided that this is the worth to work, or they decide to invest manufacturing a separate variant of the PS5 with older Wi-Fi hardware, it will release in India soon. So at any rate, Wi-Fi 7 as a technology does not need the 6 gigahertz to work in India. Advances in Wi-Fi technology are based not on new bands with wireless spectrum, but in greater efficiency. Using these bands simultaneously, even without the 6 gigahertz spectrum, the Wi-Fi 7 router can be sold in India and make maximum wireless speed faster than any home broadband plans that are even sold here in the first place. Thank you so much.